Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Nur Tisna Balkis binti Saim Azwan. My matric number is 06D8023F1082. Today I will present about cases from company Megan Media Holdings Sendirian Berhad. This is company background. Megan Media Holdings Berhad is a Malaysian company established in 1994. The company primary business was initially manufacturing plastic and electronic components product before expanding into manufacturing data storage product. The company was listed on the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange in 2000 but collapsed in 2007 following a major accounting scandal involving the falsifications of revenue figures, leading to financial loss and legal action against its executive. Megan Media ini adalah syarikat yang berasaskan plastik dan elektronik sebelum berkembang ke dalam perniagaan perbuatan produk penyimpanan data. Syarikat Megan Media ini telah memasukkan angka di bursa, dan syarikat ini telah disenaraikan di bursa pada tahun 2000, namun runtuh pada tahun 2007. Seterusnya, pada tahun 2008, company Megan Media ini telah disenaraikan dalam Bursa Malaysia. Next slide is governance structure. Megan Media Holding Berhad was delisted from the stock exchange in 2008 following a major accounting scandal involving the falsification of more than 1 billion ringgit Malaysian in revenue. As a result, the company's previous governance structure was dysfunctional. Akibat pemalsuan angka yang dihantar kepada bursa menyebabkan nama syarikat ini telah disenaraikan di bursa dan telah bankrupt dan tidak wujud lagi pada masa sekarang. Namun sebelum syarikat ini disenaraikan, yang menjadi executive chairman is Datuk Dr. Haji Muhammad Adam bin C. Harun. Seterusnya, executive director is Yo Wei Siong.
Assalamualaikum, nama saya Siti Suaidah binti Muhammad Ismail, nombor menteri F1058. Saya akan terangkan tentang 3.3 Corporate Governance or CSR issue. Yang pertama adalah weak corporate governance structure. Okey, untuk syarikat Megan Media ni, syarikat ini mempunyai struktur tadbir urus korporat yang lemah. Lembaga pengarah gagal memantau aktiviti pengurusan dengan berkesan. Tiada ketelusan, kebergantungan dan accountability yang jelas. Pihak pengurusan atasan pula mempunyai terlalu banyak kuasa dalam laporan kewangan yang menyebabkan penipuan kewangan berlaku tanpa disedari untuk tempoh yang lama. Yang kedua adalah lack of internal control and audit supervision. Okey, terdapat kekurangan kawalan dalaman dan penyediaan audit. Sistem kawalan dalaman syarikat sangat lemah kerana tiada fungsi audit dalaman yang berkesan dan tiada pemisahan tugas yang betul. Kelemahan ini memudahkan pihak pengurusan memanipulasi rekod jualan dan mengeluarkan invoice palsu tanpa dikesan. Yang ketiga, failure of external auditor. Berlaku kegagalan juru audit luar. Juru audit tidak menunjukkan tahap keraguan profesional dan ketelitian yang mencukupi semasa menjalankan audit. Mereka terlalu bergantung kepada maklumat daripada pihak pengurusan tanpa membuat semakan sendiri terhadap transaksi. Kegagalan ini menunjukkan penurunan kualiti dan accountability audit. Yang keempat, wujud kekurangan kepimpinan yang beretika dan bertanggungjawab. Pihak pengurusan lebih mementingkan keuntungan jangka pendek dan kepentingan peribadi daripada kejujuran, ketelusan dan tanggungjawab. Sikap tidak beretika ini melanggar prinsip tanggungjawab sosial korporat, iaitu CSR, yang menuntut syarikat menjaga kepentingan semua pihak berkepentingan, bukan hanya pengurusan. Yang kelima, impact on stakeholder and CSR violation. Terdapat kesan besar terhadap pihak kepentingan dan pelanggaran CSR. Skandal ini menyebabkan kerugian kewangan kepada pelabur, pekerja, pembekal dan juga orang awam. Syarikat gagal melindungi kepentingan pihak berkepentingan dan telah merosakkan kepercayaan masyarakat terhadap pasaran modal. Kesimpulannya, untuk kes Megan Media Holdings Berhad ini menunjukkan bahawa tadbir urus yang lemah, kawalan dalaman yang tidak berkesan serta kepimpinan yang tidak beretika boleh menghancurkan reputasi syarikat dan menjejaskan ramai pihak. Oleh itu, setiap organisasi perlu mengamalkan tadbir urus korporat dan etika yang baik bagi memastikan kepercayaan dan kelangsungan perniagaan. Itu saja daripada saya. Sekian, terima kasih.
Okay, I will continue the presentation. So I will explain about the 3.4 role of auditor and 3.5 issue and implication for the case Megan Media Holding Berhad. So first, for the role of auditor, verify accuracy. Verify that the information in the financial statement is accurate and valid, including revenue, receivable and deposit asset. Second is misstatement. Material misstatement caused by fraud or error should be detected and reported. Yang ketiga, provide assurance. Assure the investor and other stakeholder that the financial statement reflect the true financial position of the company. So peranan auditor adalah untuk mengenal pasti ketepatan di dalam financial statement, tak kisahlah itu revenue ke, receivable ke atau deposit asset. Yang kedua, jika berlakunya sebarang misstatement dalam syarikat tersebut atau financial statement, auditor wajib untuk mengenal pasti benda tu. Dan yang ketiga, auditor juga wajib untuk memberi tahu kepada investor dan stakeholder tentang apa yang terjadi di dalam financial statement sesebuah syarikat itu. So next is audit witness identify. For the first, the auditor did not independently verify customer invoices and sale transaction. Juraudit tidak melakukan pengesahan bebas terhadap invoice pelanggan dan transaksi jualan, menyebabkan kes Megan Media Holding Berhad ni boleh berlaku. Second is follow up or satisfactory confirmation of debtors balance were not done or their result were not follow up. Prosedur pengesahan penghutang sama ada tidak dijalankan sepenuhnya ataupun keputusan tidak disusuli. Substantive testing of whether the sale actually took place, existing transaction was inadequate. Finally is the auditor rely too heavily on management representation without obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Juru audit sangat bergantung pada representasi pengurusan tanpa mendapatkan bukti audit yang sepatutnya. So next we go to 3.5, which is issue and implication. I will explain about the issue first. So first is the falsification of financial statement for the financial year ended 31st January 2007. The management of Megan Media Berhad recorded fictitious revenue of approximately 306 million through fabricated invoices and false transactions. These false statements were then submitted to Bursa Malaysia, which essentially misled investor and regulator on the company performance. So, kenyataan palsu ini telah diserahkan kepada Bursa Malaysia dan mengelirukan pelabur dan pegawai sedia tentang prestasi kewangan sebenar syarikat. So, bila berlakunya falsification of financial statement, inilah yang akan berlaku dan akan mengelirukan investor-investor yang ingin melabur kepada company tersebut. Yang kedua is weak internal control system. The company lacked effective internal control to prevent or detect fraud. Inadequate segregation of duty was in place and poor oversight by the board and audit committee allowed management manipulation of accounting record. So, syarikat itu tidak mempunyai kawalan dalaman yang berkesan untuk mencegah atau mengesan penipuan. Sebab itulah berlakunya kes Megan Media Berhad. Third is auditor failure to detect fraud. The auditor did not exercise professional skepticism and did not gather sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding requirement under ISA 240 and ISA 500. There was an over-reliance on management explanation and a lack of independent verification related to major revenue and receivable balance. So, auditor luar gagal menjalankan keraguan profesional dan tidak mempenuhi bukti audit yang sesuai seperti yang dikehendaki di bawah ISA 240 dan ISA 500. So, fourth is ethical violation by management. The director and senior management violated basic principle of integrity and honesty expected of them as provided in the MIA Code of Ethics. Fraudulent mispresentation entail providing false financial information, hence a breach under Section 122B(a)(bb) of the Security Industry Act 1983. And for the last, non-compliant with regulation, making a statement of incorrect financial account to the stock exchange contravene Bursa Malaysia listing requirement and Security Commission requirement. This led to the criminal charge against with the senior executive, including executive chairman, who was sentenced to 80 months in jail and fined 300,000 ringgit. So last is the implication. First is lost investor confidence. The exposure of the fraud causes major financial losses to investor and shareholder due to the sudden plunge and in share value and ultimately the company's delisting from Bursa Malaysia. This eroded trust in corporate reporting and the reliability of audited financial statement. So yang pertama adalah pelabur dan pemegang saham mengalami kerugian. Kewangan yang ketara apabila penipuan itu didedahkan menyebabkan company tersebut mendapat rugi dan akhirnya syarikat itu disenaraikan di dalam Bursa Malaysia. Second is auditor reputation damage. Therefore, the failure to detect this clear fraud indicator tarnish the credibility of auditing profession in Malaysia. This has posed question regarding audit quality, independence and the sufficiency of audit procedure utilised by external auditor. So, setelah berlakunya kes yang berlaku di dalam Megan Media Holding Berhad ni, auditor punya reputasi pun akan berkurang apabila auditor tidak dapat untuk detect sebarang penipuan atau misstatement yang berlaku di dalam syarikat tersebut. Third is legal and regulatory consequences. The system control and the court impose criminal penalties on the company director, indicating Malaysian commitment to enforcing law related to corporate governance and financial integrity. The case then set a benchmark for regulatory reform and closer security of audit by both the system control and MIA. Fourth is corporate governance reform. Corporate governance reform, the scandal highlight the stronger corporate governance practice were needed, including independent audit committee, internal audit and the ethics training for managers. It emphasized accountability, transparency and the independence of the board as a way of preventing financial manipulation. And for the last is professional and ethical lesson. Auditors are expected to adhere to the 5 fundamental principles of the IFAC Code of Ethics, which include integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional competence, and professional behavior. This case provide a sobering reminder that laxity or the absence of skepticism on one hand can result in grave professional, legal, and reputational consequences. So untuk yang last sekali adalah pelajaran profesional etika. Juraaudit mesti menegakkan integriti, objektiviti, kecekapan profesional dan kerahsiaan ataupun tingkah laku yang profesional. Kemudian kes ini juga memberi peringatan kepada auditor di luar sana dan juga syarikat di luar sana untuk tidak melakukan sebarang tingkah laku yang tidak beretika dan menyebabkan kerugian kepada company. So sekian daripada saya, terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum, Ahmad Hadif. My number is F1100. Today I will present the recommendation of Megan Media Holding Berhad. So the first one is improve the board oversight. So the explanation is appoint independent director with no ties to management to monitor company activities and ensure fair decision making. This help prevent misuse of power and keeps the company accountable. Second recommendation is increase financial transparency, follow MFRS standard for accurate and consistent reporting. Be open with financial information so investor and regulator can clearly see the company through performance. So for number 3, strengthen internal audit compliance. Create an internal audit team that reports directly to the audit committee. This make sure financial activity are checked properly and any problem or fraud are detected early. And for the last one is build an ethical culture. To introduce a code of ethics that all staff must read and sign every year. This remind everyone to act honestly and follow company rules and maintain integrity in all work. That's all for me.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Aris Faizal bin Zainal and my matric number is F1052. So I'm here to present about reflection. So number 1, importance of integrity in financial reporting. The case demonstrated that the fraudulent financial reporting result in loss of credibility and was illegal. Integrity ensures that financial report accurately represent the real company position. And number 2, CSR involves ethical conduct by the corporation. CSR is not about donation or community work only, rather it's about being responsible, transparent, honest and fair towards the investor, employee and public. Number 3, poor governance lead to severe consequences. Poor internal control and lack of board oversight allowed the fraud to occur in Megan Media. That's further proof that poor governance will bring down an entire organization. So number 4, crucial role of accountant and auditor. Accountant and auditor need to be objective and independent, even if their decisions are sought after. The ethical call to accountancy practice is a means of protecting the interests of the public and ensuring the truthfulness of the financial reports presented. So number 5, personal lesson learned. As an accounting professional in the future, I learned to always uphold ethics, integrity and transparency. I should never be afraid to speak up if something isn't right, as honesty will permit long-term trust and credibility. So number 6, conclusion. A very important lesson from the Megan Media case is that business entities proper not just because of profit but also because of ethical conduct and responsible governance. Once integrity is lost, rebuilding trust is almost impossible. That's all from me. Thank you.